Hello, everyone. In case we haven't met, my name is Dr. Harmony, and I hope you live fearless, live loved, and live free. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. Make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you know when all my videos and content come live. Today, we're going to talk about the energy for the astrology report with Tatiana for November. And I'm super excited to hear what to expect because I'm already feeling this energy of rapid shift internally that's preparing us, if I can tell, for the external. And before Tatiana and I had gotten this recording to do this, she said, yes, get prepared. It's going to be like this. We've just been ramping up. And I'm like, oh, that's what I already feel. So I can't wait to hear what you have to say today, Tatiana, for the first half of November in this video. So welcome.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Harmony, for having me again back here as every month. And yes, like this month, if you've been feeling already from October, and we're still in October as we're doing this video, but if you have been feeling that already, kind of internal, looking at all the sewage coming from within and all that tension, it's just gonna get a little bit more intense. Tiny bit. Meaning a lot. This is the time. This is the time for, is the plunger time. This is it. Like, this is it.
Well, how much more is in there? That's what I keep asking.
Well, you know what is, how much more is in there? And I'm gonna go and go with the image of that when you're like taking out the hairballs of your tub or something. I'm sorry about the image, but it's part of the good one. And it's part of the nature of what we will be talking about. Yes, we'll speak in gross terms. It's part of this energy. Not be so politically correct anymore. This is a time to show it as it is. And we'll be pulling those hairs, gunky, and you pull a little bit and then more comes out and more comes out and more comes out and suddenly bleh, it all comes out.
Wow.
This is the analogy with that grossness, which is part of our Scorpio energy. Yes, Scorpio rules the sewage system, the excrements, it rules all of that. So yes, the gunk. Wow. We're going to be talking about gunk and being okay with it. Just get your rubber gloves,
Yeah. Well, I have to tell you something, speaking of gunk like that, because what you described, and this is for all like twin flames out there, of course, this is what we're doing. So I have to give you just a quick little analogy to that. So after my COVID experience, I had massive hair loss. And it was so bad that my bathtub stopped up and I had gunk in my tub, like you're talking about. And this is what our twin flame will do. So when Julian and I had gotten together and when he was here being in his divine masculine role that he is, supporting me as the divine feminine, he's like, let's go to the hardware store. Let's get this little tool. And he came back and took all my hair and all my gunk out of the drain. I'm like, that takes a real man and real love to like get that nasty crap out of that area being stuck. But that's what like our twin flame, our mirrors, those around us that are triggering us are helping us take out that gunk.
Yes, that is exactly it. After this period of negotiating, talking, saying what's important with me, what's important to you, this October Libra energy of going back and forth. And if you did not watch the video, I go back and watch it so you have context for what's coming.
I'll make sure to put links above and below and at the end for them to connect to October energy.
There's all these going back and forth. Who am I? What do I want? What do you want? This negotiation energy. And now we're going into what's really lurking behind the scenes of our deepest shadows and our deepest fears. Why are we so afraid to speak up? Or what do we need to shine light onto as personally or as a collective? Like what is really going on? Now we're going on with the tool. That's it. Personally and collectively. You see, this image represents the energy of a Scorpio and the sun has moved there. So it's almost like literally going with the headlamp or the light into that cave. And that cave does not necessarily hold the prettiest things, but it does provide and promote like true transformation when we really want to go and dive deep. So the first week we're having the first week, it's really about finding our own authority, because we might feel with there's a tension between the sun or our identity or what wants to shine and Saturn, the structures, the limitations, the responsibility. So it's who do we trust? If who can we trust really is ourselves, our inner authority, what we find for us to be true. Scorpio, when the energy is in Scorpio and the sun is in Scorpio, it's like shining the light on everything that's hidden, so we can actually say, yes, I know this is me. I cannot hide from this truth anymore. This is me, this is what it is. Or we may be seeing truths come out into the light from the collective, things that have been hidden from us as well. That's part of it. We might find truths that are ugly. This is the time of ugly truths. Even some truths may come to the surface that are shocking, like really shocking, because the sun at the same time as it is in conflict with Saturn, like we might feel oppressed by authority at a certain level. And at the same time, there's something trying to shake the ground and burst something, with Uranus in a very deep tension with the sun as well. So we might have things come up to the light that are very shocking. And there might be a lot of restlessness building up, like really a lot, not a little. It's going to amp up because there is 3 planets that are going to be kind of moving really strongly together, which is the sun, Uranus, and Saturn in a tension. And this tension is that thing between freedom, control, and what is the right thing, if there is a right thing, or if the control and authority comes from outside. And then the desire to be free, and at the same time looking at the shadows of where have we gone wrong, so we can create new structures that are more beneficial for true freedom. So yes, this is that time to look at all that has not worked. Take the gunk out of that tub so we can just almost start a new clean slate. It's been a very harsh 2020, 2021, and we're still dealing with that. But now I think we're going right to the meat of it. And with this tension amping up between being oppressed, wanting freedom, being lied to or lying to others, or hiding, or being in fear, or reacting compliantly because of fear, regardless of what your position is, it doesn't matter. There is that. It's like, why are we so afraid? Who are you hiding from? We cannot hide from ourselves and our fears. So whatever happens, if we're not willing to look within, it's going to come from outside and it's going to shock you.
As always, I feel like that I kind of get a precursor to the energy. And so what I'm finding, because I'm already feeling some of the things that you're explaining, and it's been triggered, I think, on a deeper layer because my father passed away over a week ago, and we laid him to rest last week. And so what I feel in that is that there's a part of me right now that it wants to just sort of stay in bed and like feel like I want to heal kind of thing from that. There's another part of me that keeps focusing on the concept and the idea that I feel more connected than ever. So I feel like I'm taking it very well on many levels. However, it's forcing me to like take a reflection of my entire life and being in the process of it, but doing it a little bit more on the move, and being okay with that. Because I think as light workers going up in ascension and being hit hard for many, many years, like it's been so intense and so impactful, and it's taken such a toll on our physical bodies. That is, our bodies are in this traumatic state right now. that we're being forced to like heal, and the sensitivities and hypersensitivities, and feeling our emotions and all these things. So for me, one of the things that I keep going back to and feeling is it's a choice on how we choose to experience it. So we may not be able to change what's going on, but we can change how we navigate what's going on. And there's a lot of resistance, I feel like, that's coming up in this time, or going to be even more so, because I'm already feeling the resistance. So when you say like the ringer, to me, that feels like a resistance in like who we are with what we think we're going to be in control of, or what we want our outcomes to be, or what actions we need to take, and questioning again, are we making the right choices? And this is where I think what you're saying is you really have to look within for the choices you're making, and not anything around you or anyone around you, and really making those choices from a place of truth, and not, allowing how it's going to affect other people to block you from making the choices you need to make for your truth. And I think in a collective right now, this is so huge with what's going on in the world, that everyone is being, pointing fingers, or this right or wrong. And, we're clearing that internally for the collective, as we always do. So it's like you come into the place that whatever decision you make for you is the right one. And that also within that, when you make that choice, you can't make a wrong one, because you're going to make the choice you need to gain your highest good. And it doesn't matter if you have to go deeper and like create more maybe strain and stress on yourself. You're going to do it because there's more to purge. If you don't have these triggers to go deeper, you would never allow yourself to do it. And this is where I always say it's kind of like a Band-Aid. You can either slowly pull that off and it hurts really bad, or you can get one really big hurt and just yank it off. But when you do that, sometimes that causes more pain doing it for yourself. Sometimes it takes the other person to trigger and to get to that level of pain, or you would never allow it otherwise.
Yeah, and with this energy it's also about, it's looking at the fears for sure. Like in this image, we see this cave, and there's this possibility for transformation and for immense growth. However, a part of us needs to die.
Oh,
that's part of the Scorpio energy. It's not only looking for the fears, it's like, what is that part of ourselves that we're so attached to, that we're relinquishing to let go? We just don't want to let it go. What is it? And it's going to rear its ugly face as personally, individually, or collectively. There is stuff that needs to go. And this is it. This is just like it.
Yeah. It's the most painful part of this journey, is letting go of ourselves. And with letting go of the twin flame, when people do that, I always explain that pain is coming from letting go of those shadow sides of yourself. And that's where the pain is coming from. And the twin is merely the trigger. And I'm seeing a lot of clients, and for even some close friends around me, that are experiencing the death of self right now. And like I just, Julian and I was doing some work over the weekend in where we're going next with, what we're doing. And the alchemy is what we came, like the theme that him and I have together. We were like kind of looking at what we each offer and what we bring to the table together, and where's that common ground in that. And it is the alchemy of, the death of who we've been, loving who we are, and embracing who we're becoming. And that's an alchemy of ourselves in that process.
Alchemy is the actual word for this kind of energy. And Mars, the planet of action, of courage, of diving, of sexuality, is going to be entering also Scorpio. So it's not just the sun, and it's also Mars. Mercury is still in Libra, so we're still having, but it's squaring Pluto. So we still have a lot of that ugly truth, deep talk kind of thing going on. And as Mars enters Scorpio, we might have to face issues of desire, sexuality, the raw nature of the human. And also it's the deep dive. And when Mars enters in its own sign, it's the deep dive. It's not the shallow, fluffy butterfly dive. It's the deep, deep dive. And around November 4th, I think the first week, because this is the first kind of week, 2 weeks that I'm talking about, we'll have the new moon in Scorpio.
Wow.
So on that day, because it's the new moon, set your intentions to willingly and gracefully go there.
Mm-hmm.
After that cage courageously. Mars has courage. So when it enters there, it will go and find the truth. And this goes for the collective. We might find ugly collective truths of things that are hidden or have been hidden from us. And ugly things, not fun. This is not the nice fluffy energy. This is the raw that we're going to be dealing with. The raw and the pain. And the pain is part of the process. What we should definitely not go into is suffering and clinging, because that's what creates suffering, the clinging onto something we need to let go, whether it is your twin or a codependent pattern or something, or an idea, even an idea about something that is so stuck to you. No, look at the truth and be humble with it. There is, however, a little opportunity for grace, courtesy of Venus sextiling Mercury. This is not like a huge energy. However, if you are able to tap into it, this is like the little life raft floating in these deep waters of the Scorpio energy. Why am I saying that? Because Mercury and Venus come in that sextile, give the opportunity for graceful words, for poetry. And I get the image of the freedom song or the deep blues, from the times of the slaves chanting these deep sorrows. So this is that energy, is the energy of sing a blues for the pain and the fear and the sorrow and the grief, but turn it into something beautiful, like a beautiful song that has nostalgia and pain in it, or even a song of freedom, because this is the time where we're fighting for our freedom and we don't know how else to fight. It's like this squeeze. So when we tap into that poetic energy, instead of being in this grind, because we're going to feel this grind, because Mars is kind of going and Saturn is like stopping. So it's like, let me be, let me go. I get very expressive because this is how I feel. And
it sounds like the birth as well of, is that giving birth to that new identity.
Yes. And it's painful. It's like ripping.
Mm-hmm.
It's ripping. And at the same time, it's hard. It's not like, oh, it's easy, just went out. It's not like the baby that comes out easily. It's the baby that has to struggle for its life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not to be free. That's the energy of it. So the grace is tap into your poetic self, and this energy being it's very fixed energy too. So it's like attention in something that does not want to move, just doesn't want to budge. Yeah. So we'll have to budget. We'll have to yank that gunk and yank it out. But in that yank, don't yank it so hard. Be gentle. That's why it's so important to go back to yourself, to the things you love. Go, and even if you're not an artist, you don't have to listen to some kind of music that will connect you to that woe energy or that kind of sadness or that grief, so you can grieve it out. Mm-hmm. Grieve it out with music. Grieve it out with compassion. This is what Venus brings, the opportunity. However, that's not just a given. That's something that we have to go and look for. So it's that little extra effort in the process of the painful realizations is, okay, how can I go and do this with a little balm, mm-hmm. of gentleness and love? And this is what us as twin flames do as well. This is the hard, thorny road, but we're here also to pave it with grace for others, mm-hmm. right?
Yes. And this sounds like the grief of letting go of our old identity, like as we move forward.
Yeah, that is part
So,
of it. And
yes.
maybe people we have lost,
Mm-hmm.
like you're saying with your father, is the grief of people that are probably gonna be leaving in the next month or months to come. It's all of that, or the grieving of people that passed already, or things, ideals, places, jobs. And the other key part of this first 2 weeks of the month is to find your inner authority, find your inner guiding light within this dark cave. Don't just go with what has been you have believed, or what people tell you, because remember, this is about you going into the cave with your own lantern so you can see what's there, not anymore because you are ignoring it. And you can become your own authority and make your own choices and decisions for your own sense of freedom from whatever it is. Is it the government? Is it a job you don't like? Is it a relationship that's toxic? Whatever it is, take that responsibility. And that's Saturn's invitation in this, is either you're going to be squeezed, or do you take the responsibility yourself for owning your stuff and making your own choices and not allowing anybody else to dictate those choices for you.
Wow.
This is part of that energy. And I'm being really serious today because this is the energy of it.
Wow.
This is the light. The last thing, however, towards November 10th, we will have a very nice trine. A trine is an easy flowing energy. It's not the stuck, difficult energy. It's easy. From Neptune to the Sun. And this, amidst the commotion, it's a call for true spiritual awakening, to find a higher calling and a higher meaning. So it's not to stay in the menial 3D, of all the little things. It's like almost go up and illuminate, like look up to the sky and look at the sun and feel the warmth of its rays, saying, it's okay. There is everything is in perfectly defined order. That's the other beautiful piece of this puzzle, is we have that grace. And towards like November 13th, 14th, we are going to have a little bit of a square between Jupiter and Neptune, and the Sun, which can, as we're getting these inspirations, we might tend to get a little bit of the guru complex. I found the truth and now I can preach it to everybody, So beware of guru complex at that time, it's more about integrating a sense of true deep connection to spirit. However, it's like, it's like when maybe if you do a journey with some plant medicine and you find this amazing truth for yourself, and then you come back from the journey and you want to push it onto everybody because it's the truth. It's not, it's just a part of your psyche telling you that there is hope, that there is another place or thing for you to integrate in your own journey of self-discovery and freedom. So beware of not pushing that out as like, I found myself and therefore, it's more like, okay, I integrate this knowledge and this hard truth humbly. And if you do that, you're in for the nice big next part of the month, which is not necessarily going to ease up, but it will have a little bit more of, the tension will be building in the next 2 months, like really high. And we could have massive revolutions and rippings of society. It could get really nasty. However, this spiritual energy is what we need to absolutely hang on to.
So this energy that we have coming up definitely is going to be a very impactful part of our future, our new beginnings. So again, it's how we choose to look at it, as far as, is this an ending of our old ways or old self? Well, it is. and we can be grieving about that. This is really where our focus should be, is who are we becoming and what is ahead, and how great the things that we have accomplished, like looking how far we've come and not focusing on how much more we have to do. And so what I would like to do is leave some words for people to think about in their journey for this month. And this is a passage that I read at my dad's celebration of life ceremony, that was some closing words that he always liked to get the last word in. And so these were like, what came through to me was his last words. And he didn't want anyone to be grieving when he left. So it reads that grief never ends, but it changes. It's a passage, not a place to stay. Grief is not a sign of weakness, nor a lack of faith. It is the price of love. You know, the whole twin flame community is all about this divine love and connecting deep within. And to know great love, we have to know we have to go through these sorrows to understand the depths of what great love truly means. And while it can feel painful, it's also the expanded intelligence to who we are, being able to feel the depths of this self, to feel the greatness of self. And so, this depths of coming into the alignment of the astrological plane for our personal selves and the collective right now is perfect timing. Perfect timing as always. And again, as I said, just make sure to choose how you navigate this, because regardless, you're going to go through it. So I want to thank you, Tatiana, again, for joining us. And for all of you that have not got plugged into Tatiana's information, make sure to check out the links below. And she offers them an amazing evolutionary astrology reading that can go based on your birth chart to help you understand what it is you literally came in as your life blueprint. So the more you get connected to that, the easier it makes your journey to navigate the process of these choices you're making. So thank you again, and we will see you in the next couple of weeks, Tatiana. And thank you, everyone. Make sure to like, comment, share the shine. Let us know if you're going through the ringer in this process, and what it would take for you to be able to make bigger and better and higher choices. We thank you again. Have a great month, and we'll see you next time. May you always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Namaste.